Today I have a very, very special guest. Live from London, but flown in from Springfield, Marge Simpson.
Hello, everybody.
So, Marge, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Pretty decent. Where's Bart?
Dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Marge.
I killed him.
You killed him?
Yep.
Oh. Well, are you excited to be here, Marge?
I'm very excited. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, have you been watching the NHL playoffs?
I have.
Who do you think's gonna win the final?
Okay, all right. That's enough, Marge. All right, we'll see you later. Yeah, so that was Marge Simpson. Yeah, so give it up for Marge.
Gonna fray our audio there.
Oh, yeah.
Professional podcast.
Yep.
So, how are you, Ryan?
I'm doing very well. We're in London, the UK right now for a little work experience, and we're just enjoying life right now.
Yeah, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Just shooting some b-ball outside the school.
Well, unfortunately, that means that most of the time when we have work, we're going to bed too early to experience the current Stanley Cup final between the St. Louis Blues and the Boston Bruins. But we do catch up on the replays as you do. What have you thought of the series?
Well, I thought it was very interesting, just because I would think that the Bruins would just blow out the Blues, but it seems that is not the case. I'm very happy about the standings right now, and I hope the Blues can pull through and win their first Stanley Cup.
So, I don't think many of us expected the results of these playoffs. I'm not sure if we talked about the first round or not in the previous episode, but, well...
Don't think so.
No, well... I swear we might have, but I know it's been an interesting road for both of these teams getting there. I mean, in the East, like, the winner of Boston-Toronto was going to have a pretty easy path, and Boston ended up winning that. They get the Blue Jackets, and then they get the Hurricanes, who are two pretty underwhelming opponents. Just because the playoffs have a lot of randomness to it, you get things like that. So that Bruins are in the final, and then the Blues were supposed to be good. They were trash for like a quarter of the year, and then they came back and weren't trash under everyone's favorite coach, Craig Berube.
Yeah, it's always surprising when a team is like dead last after January and then makes it to not even just the playoffs, but the finals, which is pretty outstanding. So I think everyone is pretty surprised, and especially Blues fans are pretty happy that their team actually made it this far and has a chance to go all the way.
And I know Ryan and I are pretty variant on our hockey analysis. Ryan's more what the eyes tell you is what the eyes tell you, and I'm a little bit more analytical about it. However, I think we can both agree that the Blues are supposed to be good, and I mean, part of the reason they're there is because of Jordan racist Binnington, but...
Yeah, well, it's whatever. Some people are racist. Can't blame them.
You've seen his old tweets, haven't you?
Yeah, if I can get him, I'll put him on screen. But he's a pretty horrible guy, but he's a great goalie. So, oh well.
I want to see Brad Marchand fight Jordan Binnington.
It'd be like a midget versus a slightly taller man.
I won't use the correct term, Ryan.
Oh, a small person or little person.
There we go.
The official GritCast.
We are very inclusive on the GritCast.
Yeah, the official GritCast includes all people and loves everyone of any sort of stature.
Yes, including Brad Marchand.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, well, as we mentioned, Blues up 3-2 in the series. Sunday they've got Game 6. You think they're gonna pull it off?
Honestly, I don't know. At this point, anything can happen. You got Chara, who has like a face mask, like half walking.
Like he shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, he's like a zombie out there. So that is a pretty big blow to the Bruins. But they still do have a lot of talent out there. You got Pasternak, you got Brad Marchand. You got Patrice Bergeron.
They got Charlie Coyle.
Yeah, they got Charlie Coyle, Charlie McAvoy. So
Gonna break out the accent here.
you got Charlie McAvoy. So honestly, anything can go. As far as talent wise, I think the Bruins do have the better talent on their team, but
obviously.
apparently that just has not shown during this series because obviously they're not up in the series. So
Yeah, well, again, there's a bit of randomness to the playoffs, but I'm glad that in the end, 2 teams that were supposed to be good are there. Like, no one expected Carolina to be that great.
yeah, those jerks.
Bunch of jerks having fun out there. How dare they?
I love Don Cherry. He's an amazing
This
man.
is going to be our transition.
No, we can keep talking about the series.
Yeah, well. In the end, 2 good teams are there. I'm happy with that. I think that doing well in the regular season should be rewarded in the playoffs, and lo and behold, they are rewarded. Even if the Blues didn't start out the season well, they're making headwind at it, and if they win a Stanley Cup, I'll feel pretty satisfied with that result.
Yeah. Honestly, I would be happy with any team winning it other than the Bruins or the Penguins. Just because
But the Capitals.
I respect Ovechkin, so I was kind of happy with them winning it considering it was Ovi's first cup, and just like seeing the look on his face was pretty exciting. But I just have so much hatred for the Boston Bruins. Just Boston in general. If you're from Boston, just don't listen to this at all. I just hate you.
Quote the Art of GritCast.
Yeah, Art of Grit hates Boston. So anyone listening from Boston, get out.
Listen, you have a wonderful city. I've been there before. Wonderful city. However, you are insufferable sports fans. You win everything all the time. So stop complaining. That's the end of my sentence.
If you have Tom Brady, so just be happy with that.
You have Tom Brady.
Stay away from my hockey league, all right? But yeah,
I'm gonna lose like 20 subscribers. Everyone listens from Boston.
Yeah, I don't care. Boston sucks. But honestly, yeah, I would be happy with the Blues winning it. I think Vladimir Tarasenko deserves it. Jordan Binnington, even though he's a horrible person, he had like one of the best seasons I've ever seen from a goalie, like especially from a rookie. So
Carter Hart.
Well, of course, Carter Hart is God. Like he is a god. But Binnington
descended from the heavens himself.
Yeah, I saw him. But I think Binnington deserves it. He just played very well. So that's my take.
It's your take, all right.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Don Cherry?
Let's talk about some Don Cherry.
Let's talk about Don Cherry.
The man himself, the legend, Don Cherry.
I've got a couple. One of my favorite things to do on Twitter is like roast the people at Barstool and then roast Don Cherry.
Oh, Don Cherry and Barstool is like the best combo ever. You got Barstool, who loves making fun of women.
Oh, yeah.
It's just amazing.
How dare a model go to a game and take pictures? I mean, right? Saturdays are for the bull. You're going to put that out there for people to cut up and post on the internet?
Yeah, I'll probably take that out.
Yeah, take that out.
But yeah, Don Cherry's just has horrible takes. Like,
Yeah,
I just don't understand how you can get so upset and angry at a team for celebrating their wins.
Yeah,
because Carolina hasn't been the best team
it's their
of
first
late.
it's their first playoff appearance in 10 years, I believe.
Yeah, so for them to accomplish that and celebrate and Don Cherry, like, have a stroke about it, it's pretty, like, horrible.
I mean, the dude who wears, like, the weird funky suits complaining about people having fun is a little hypocritical to me.
Yeah, he dresses like he's trying to be like Elton John or something, but he just, like, ends up being, like, an angry old man.
He dresses like the obnoxious guy at an office Christmas party.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he just ends up being, like, an angry old man, like, ranting on the internet, and, like, everyone just, like, doesn't care. Like, no, I've seen no angry comments about them celebrating since, or, like, other than Don Cherry, because there really shouldn't
and, like,
be. They're
similar other old men on the internet.
Exactly. Like, I've seen, like, this video, like, they do, like, their, what is it called, Thunder Surge or whatever,
Yeah.
where, like, they all clap with their fans,
Yeah,
and
so-
Don Cherry's like, oh, that's horrible, it's like summoning the devil or something, it's like a cult, like, how could the league allow this? I'm like, what do you mean, allow
How
this?
does the league allow you?
Yeah, it's like, how does the NHL network like hire you?
Well, he's technically hired by CBC, but
All right,
I mean,
CBC, whatever. Yeah.
To be fair, he's also pretty racist. I remember there was a comment. God, I think it was during one of the Winnipeg Jets series where he's just highlighting like, "Oh, he's a good Canadian boy, works hard, good Canadian boy." Like, I thought we got rid of that in the NHL.
I only want Canadian boys in my league.
Yeah, I mean, they'll work hard. They'll go to the boards and be tough, unlike those foreigners. like what the hell's that, man?
Yeah, I just don't know about John Cherry. He's just a goofy old man that yells a lot, so I don't know. I feel like his opinion isn't really respected around the league. Like, I don't see, like, analysts saying, like, oh, like, we got this take or this whatever from Don Cherry. They're respected. Like, no one... I feel like people just generally view him as just a horrible person.
I don't think the guy, I think, who's it, Todd McClellan? Not Todd McClellan. Somebody, whoever the guy who does Coach's Corner with him. I don't love his opinions either, but even he sometimes just looks at Don Cherry, he's like, dude, what the heck are you saying?
Yeah, at least he's not, like, a racist, like, angry person. He has, like, at least has, like, a temper. Like, Don Cherry would just go off on someone.
Don Cherry is as redneck as you can get without being redneck.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect, like, view on him, honestly.
I don't think Don Cherry's opinion's been respected since he was an actual coach in the league with the Boston Bruins, because of course he coached the Bruins.
Yeah, I mean, of course he's from Boston.
He's not
is he
from
Boston?
No, I believe
No.
He coached Boston like in the 50s or 60s or something.
That sounds
like
about right, though.
Or 70s or 80s.
Another example why
before
Boston sucks.
before we were born.
Yeah, but I don't know if he hates women like Barstool. I mean, Barstool's everyone knows them. They're huge college guys that just love partying and sports.
El Presidente.
El Presidente. I know the only Barstool guy I like is Barstool Jordy.
I like him because he does hockey.
He does hockey and he's from Philly and he has pretty good takes.
I don't like him that much.
Yeah, whatever. But I don't know. I think he's funny. I harass him on Twitter, so, you know, it's always a good time. But yeah, Barstool's, they're just weird. They, like, make fun of women.
I mean, sports are for men, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want women in my sports.
Anyone listening who knows me personally, that's a joke.
Yeah, but there was, if anyone doesn't know, there was recently a video of a model, like, basically...
She was French, I believe.
French, whatever. Honestly, it doesn't even matter at that point. But she was taking pictures at a baseball game.
Yeah,
and
Yankees game, and
like a Barstool guy, whatever. He just, like, took video of her. It was like, what the hell is this? Like, get this out of my sports league. I'm like, really, dude? Like, first of all, the game wasn't even happening. So, like
mind your own business, dude.
It wasn't even like he was trying to, like, watch. Like, I get it. Like, if it was in, like, the middle of the game and, like, you're trying to watch it and, like, she's just, like, standing up in front of the seats. Like, I get that. But, like, honestly, it's like the game wasn't happening. She wasn't doing anything. Like, mind your business. Like, it doesn't matter.
And reportedly, he had, like, hit on her or something, and she was, like, not interested, and so he took this video, and he was like, I can't believe this is happening in my Yankees. Man, you gotta take baseball seriously, man.
Yeah. That's Barstool.
It's just a giant wet fart noise.
Yeah. I mean, Barstool is basically just, like, it reminds me of, like, the huge shit I took this morning. So... That's my take on Barstool.
They have the emotional intelligence of a dinosaur.
This is the official roast on Barstool.
Yeah, they're reptilians.
The Comedy Central roast of Barstool. First it was Trump, now it's Barstool.
We've roasted Trump. We've roasted what is it, like, SoundCloud rappers or, like, mumble rappers.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna roast Barstool.
Who's next? Who's coming under our wrath?
The wrath of the GritCast.
The wrath of GritCast. It's one viewer.
Thank you to anyone who actually listens to this.
Yeah, sincerely, thank you. You don't give us any money, but it makes me feel better at night. So, thank you.
I mean, when we're sleeping under a bridge because we don't get money from this. So
yeah, when I'm, like, getting coins in the subway, I just think that one viewer out there is kissing my photo next to his bed saying, I love GritCast. And I know that people love me.
It's a picture of him, like photoshopped in with Gritty.
Yeah, me and Gritty. The day I meet Gritty is the day that my life will be complete, because Gritty is a god.
You want to give him a smooch?
I'll give him a little kiss, and I would love to meet Gritty. I saw him at a couple Flyers games. I didn't get to talk to him, which was very sad.
I mean, I've heard he's excellent conversation.
Yeah, I heard he's very nice. He always does that thing where like he thrusts, like kind of like the Philly Fanatic. If you ever seen videos where like he like thrusts forward with his hips. It's kind of weird when he does it to children, but I don't really mind it. It's
yeah, like
cool.
like behind them, with his pants. Well, he doesn't wear pants, but I imagine with his pants and
yeah. I mean, the weirdest video of Gritty was when it was at the outdoor game versus the Gwins, and he was just like running naked.
Oh yeah, it was streaking.
But like his body's like super weird. Like he has like a green or like a blue
orange.
Yeah, no, it was blue belly button, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And like he was just running naked, but it was pretty hot. But he just looked weird. Honestly.
I mean, Ryan was a bit bothered by it. He had to go in the next room.
I got a little hot and bothered, Had a little sweaty on the lip,
It's the dumbest segment I've ever done.
Man, we're hilarious.
Yes. So, what do you think has been the biggest shock of this year's playoffs?
Biggest shock?
Well, I mean, there's an obvious answer, but like besides Tampa getting swept.
I mean, I was gonna say that, but I guess Carolina sweeping.
That is true.
That was very surprising.
The Blue Jackets swept Tampa, and then the Blue Jackets got swept by Carolina, and then Carolina got swept by the Bruins.
Honestly, like I wasn't really surprised about the Bruins sweeping Carolina because that's just a no-brainer. But
yeah.
I was surprised the Blue Jackets swept the Tampa Bay Lightning because they easily had the best team in hockey, let alone the best line in hockey. The first line, which is Kucherov, who else? Stamkos.
I don't think Stamkos is on a line with him, is he?
Who's the first line then?
Actually, no, it is Stamkos. Stamkos is the center.
It's Stamkos, Kucherov, and is it Point?
No, Point's the center on the second or third line. I think Point's their second line center.
All right, whatever. Well, their team is freaking insane. Yeah, Drew's currently looking it up right now.
I'm surprised we don't know.
Yeah, we're avid hockey fans, clearly. But when they got swept, I was just so surprised. Considering the Blue Jackets are not on a level with Tampa. Tampa is on a whole nother level. Their team is insane. Kucherov got over 120 points, which hasn't been done in the last 10 years. And honestly, I just feel bad for Tampa. Like, their team's amazing. They deserve to win the cup. And they didn't even make it past the first round. They're on the same level as the Flyers. They can't make it past the first round. If you're on the same level as the Flyers, then honestly just like be demoted to the AHL or something, because I don't know how a team with easily the best team in hockey and one of the best couple of players in hockey can, let alone losing in the first round and then being swept in the first round by the Blue Jackets, which, don't get me wrong, they're good. They have a couple of star talent players, but nowhere near on the same level as Tampa.
I've got Corsica Hockey up. They're my go-to hockey analytics site. According to the last one I could find on April 16th, their first line was Steven Stamkos on the left, Anthony Cirelli in the middle, and Nikita Kucherov on the right. Though I feel like they could. I know Stamkos is like naturally a center, so I feel like they can move Tyler Johnson or someone up to the first line, and obviously they've kind of shifted things around, but it's not. That is one of the better first lines in hockey with Stamkos and Kucherov. I mean, Cirelli he's not bad, but
he's not on the same level. But
yeah,
honestly, that didn't really make a difference. But yeah, I was just very surprised that they got swept, and then the Blue Jackets getting swept. I thought they were gonna lose, but being swept also surprised me, just because the Blue Jackets do have a lot of good talent. They got one of the best goalies in the league, but Bob Bobrovsky, which
True.
the Flyers traded for some reason. They got Zach Werenski, amazing defenseman. They got Artemi Breadman Panarin, one of the best snipers in the league.
You know,
So
I mean, they're nowhere near the Lightning. The Lightning had
No.
like a super team.
of course
basically.
not. They're nowhere near the Lightning, but they just used a lot of grit, art of grit, to, I guess, just power past the Lightning. So
Like Anthony Cirelli scored 39 points in 82 games last season. No power. He had one power play assist. It looks like he doesn't really play power play because they put Stamkos, Point, Kucherov, on the same unit then, and they also shift. I feel like they shift up some of their guys. Like they put Palat there, I believe.
yeah,
But according to Hockey Reference, which isn't the best site for it, but it looks like Cirelli's been fairly Corsi positive over his career. Like last year was his first like full year. He played 18 games in 2017-18, and last year he played all 82. He had a 53.7 Corsi 4 percentage, which means he keeps possession fairly well. It's just like obviously the points will come eventually, but regardless of who's playing center on that line and who they shift up or whatever, they still have one of the best teams in hockey by far. And I know a lot of people were saying they were going to fire the coach, but then they went and signed him again. So I think they're being smart.
yeah. I got a question for you.
Yes.
Who do you think has the best line in hockey? Whether it's any team, just the best line in general.
To finish my thought just there, I'm glad that they're running it out again because like they're not going to get swept again in the first round next year. I think
never
they can say
know.
that I'm fairly confident in that. And
You never know. I mean, I didn't think they're going to
Fine.
get swept this year.
if Tampa Bay makes the playoffs next year and gets swept in the first round,
You'll do what?
I will let you.
Let me do what?
Well,
I don't like where this is going.
how about I will have to publicly apologize on air?
Great. You heard it here, folks. Drew has to apologize if they win, if they get swept again. Damn, dude, I cannot
I don't
wait
know.
for this day
I
next
don't
year.
know. I'll wear a jersey I'll buy a jersey and wear a jersey for a week of the team that sweeps them.
No, you'll wear a Bruins jersey for a whole week.
Fine, I'll wear a Bruins jersey for a whole week if it happens again. That's the deal.
Deal. Here, get close up to the mic. All right. So to answer my question,
The best line in hockey. To be honest with you, it's probably the Bruins' first line.
I was gonna say that.
I mean, Marchand, love him or hate him,
rat.
He's a rat, but he's a really fine center.
He's a really good
Or,
rat.
wait, he doesn't play center. Sorry, he's left wing, I believe. And then don't know why I said center. And then you've got Patrice Bergeron, who was one of the best two-way centers in hockey. He, along with Sean Couturier, may be considered elite. And then you have also got scoring winger David Pastrnak, who's got one of the best shots in hockey.
Pasta.
You've got that Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
That commercial's so stupid. I'll put it on screen.
Hey,
for
hey,
everyone
ref,
to see.
check your eyes. It's not
Yeah.
even Canadian, but okay.
But yeah, I think
Don
the
Cherry
Bruins-
wouldn't like that.
Don Cherry.
It's not a good Canadian boy.
He's not Canadian. Oh, do you know this boy? Yeah, he's not Canadian. Oh, I hate him.
This clearly doesn't have enough determination and grit.
No grit. Don Cherry loves the GritCast. He emailed me. He listened to it every day. He's just a huge fan. He actually is sponsoring us now, so thank you, Don.
We're sponsored by Don Cherry, and to that end, we further redact any statements made about Don Cherry.
Yeah, but I also agree with my fellow partner Drew that the Boston Bruins, sadly to admit this, but they do have the best line in hockey. But I can say easily that the rest of the team is trash and nowhere near on the level as their first line.
Well, they're not trash. They range from okay to bad. Like, they've got all these young players, and, like, the only pretty good one is Jake DeBrusk.
I mean, I would put McAvoy up there too.
I mean, McAvoy is very good.
Yeah.
Like, on the forward core you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, they've got Noah Chari and Charlie Coyle. Like, Charlie Coyle's an okay, like, middle sixer, but it's not, like, going to make your top line.
Yeah. Honestly, the Bruins are just carried by their first line. It's clearly seen in the analytics. But, yeah. That's my take on it.
I like how you said that, knowing you don't really do analytics.
Yeah, I hate analytics. Well, okay, here's my point on this. I don't hate analytics, but when you say like, oh, this team should have won, or like when you say this team is really good, but then they get swept in the playoffs first round, you can't say that. I mean, they're really good, but you can't say that they're amazing, because if you can't win the cup, then the whole point of hockey is to win the cup.
Well,
That's the whole point.
Here's the thing. They don't. Advanced stats weren't really kept in this time, but you remember, like, you won't remember, but I won't remember either. In the mid '90s, those Detroit Red Wings teams were some of the best in history.
Yeah.
Like, the Tampa Bay Lightning had the best record since those Red Wings teams, and they didn't win the cup in that year where they set the points record, but they won the year after. You know, sometimes it just doesn't happen. The playoffs are really random. A lot of luck-based stuff happens. It's such a short set of games that, you know, you're not going to really get kind of a grade out of like a long season where you play 80+ games.
Well, I'm not saying that the Tampa Bay Lightning were bad. Obviously, they're not. They're easily the best team in hockey. But I am saying that they did not have what it takes to finalize their season.
Well, they may do it next year.
I'm not. Of course, I'm not saying that. If they do it next year, good for them. They proved me wrong, and they made me look like an idiot. But as of now, they did not have what it takes to go all the way, because in the end, that's really all that matters, is to win the cup. You can have the best season of your life as a team, and then you get swept by the Blue Jackets, who are on a whole low level than you, then that really says something as your team.
You bring up an interesting point, because on a previous episode, like a month or two ago, of the Broad Street Hockey podcast, Broad Street Hockey Radio, which the site I write for, and shameless plug. There's
I wrote for Brotherly Puck too. Shout out to Dan, the Flyer fan. I love you, baby.
But there was a Broad Street Hockey Radio show a while ago where it was I believe it was Bill and Charlie. You were talking about the NHL doesn't really reward you for doing well in the regular season just because of how random the playoffs are. Like, there've been different talks of how you could kind of reward teams who are like in the wild card to do better and not just like tank, and there are ways that you could reward the top teams for being at the top during the course of the regular season. You could like have a different competition to make, like, you know, make it matter more. Like in football, like soccer, there's multiple competitions. So like in England and through the top tier level, you've got the Premier League, you have the FA Cup, you have the Carabao Cup, and then for the best of the best, you compete in the Champions League. And even in Europe, there's the Champions Hockey League, which isn't a thing with like the KHL and some of the top like other leagues. Like I know for sure the KHL doesn't go into it, but there's the Champions League hockey. Like, there's different competitions, and the EIHL in the UK has the Challenge Cup, which is a the 2-leg tournament where every team plays against each other, like in its elimination. There are other ways that the NHL could reward teams for a season. It's just that they don't.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like the NHL, like, even though it's like my favorite sport to watch, and it's just like it's just an all around great community, they really do a horrible job of like giving their players rewards. Like, for instance, you have the IIHF league, or whatever you call it, where it's basically like a World Cup style tournament where you go head to head with your country. But the NHL decides to have the Stanley Cup playoffs right in between it. So, like, the IIHF is super popular everywhere around the world except for America and Canada, just because like the top players can't play in that league, because if you're playing the playoffs, you're not going to be playing that league. True. So the NHL does a pretty horrible job of like saying, hey, you did really good, so get to play in this tournament and show off your skill and represent your country. There's really there's no service like that does that, like the Premier League or even just like football as a whole.
Yeah, and there's even with like with hockey, there's in the NHL, it's just you win the Stanley Cup or nothing. Like you could win the President's Trophy, and then what does it matter? Like you get to raise a banner and you can be proud of it, but everyone's gonna say, "Oh, you didn't win the Stanley Cup." Like even with the MLS,
Yeah, you're gonna have like Don Cherry be like, "Oh, he didn't win cup, he bad."
doesn't have enough grit.
Yeah, exactly. But like even as Drew was just about to say, I know where he's going. The MLS, even they have like something else. You can go like American players, or not even American, like South American, whatever. You can go like the Copa America final and represent your country.
And even just that, like MLS has a playoffs, but there's a supporter shield, which is best team overall, and that actually means something. You know, teams don't just view it as, oh, we got to go and win this other thing. Like, I mean, yeah, they'll think that, but it's a bigger accomplishment to win the supporter shield than it would be winning the President's Trophy in the NHL. And there's also the Lamar Hunt Cup, which is like not just MLS but other like USHL, like lower American teams.
And while like this may be the league's fault, honestly, it is the fault of the fans too, because I feel like over time the view and stigma of like playing just for the cup could be changed. Like you could make it more important, you could have the players view it as more important, but just the league doesn't want to. So even though it is their fault, it is kind of the fans, I'm not gonna say fault, but it's their burden, because they whine about saying, oh, the cup is the only good thing, but in reality you could create something else. Like
there could be an alternate competition, like a best of like I suggested having kind of an FA Cup style knockout tournament where it's single game elimination, and you take every team in the NHL and every team in the AHL and you do a random draw.
Exactly.
And you play until you reach the final. And it will work something like that. And like I get that other sports in America don't have that. Like for example, the NFL, it's just the Lombardi Trophy, but that makes sense. There's only 16 games in a season.
Yeah. But one thing I would say about that is the only thing with that is I feel like other leagues, like say for football, like the Premiership, they're actually separate teams in the Premiership and League One. In the NHL and AHL, they're just farm teams. They're basically just the same team, but like not as good. So you can't have like the Flyers play the Phantoms. That wouldn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, the thing is, even in like Spain, I know they don't do it in. Well, they do it in England with the. I don't know if it's the Carabao Cup or whether I think it's like the Johnston's Paint Trophy. It used to be called, but there is a lower league competition that I believe League One, League Two, and I don't know if the Championship do it, but where sure. Like Premier League youth teams will play in it, like the Manchester City under-23s, and in Spain with cup competitions like Barcelona B compete in it, and you can have kind of youth and farm teams competing against like senior competition, and it could even be a channel for, like if there's like a cup competition and the Flyers are playing the Hershey Bears, and a Hershey Bears prospect plays really well, it could give the team a chance to look at them and say, hey, we're going to call you up.
Exactly. I feel like adding something else would benefit everyone, but sadly, I really couldn't see this happening anywhere in the near future unless someone with more influence, not that Art Grit has no influence, but so
I mean we have the power. Call up Don Cherry.
I'll just call Don Cherry and he'll move a little something and boom, something will happen.
And to their credit, the NHL tried with the World Cup of Hockey.
Yeah, but
it's just that no one cared about it because we have this stigma that the cup is all that matters.
Yeah, which is actually, now I really like kind of changing my views. It is the fans' fault because the NHL did create is like basically contradicting what I just said, but the NHL did, I guess, create something which really it wasn't effectively used, but the fans, they didn't adjust at all. There needs to be some sort of adjustment in the fans' mindset and just in the overall general fan base to realize that, oh, this is also important.
And like they did something with the World Cup of Hockey, and then everyone went, oh, like you're just gonna get players injured for the NHL season, and like yeah, that could happen, but the whole point is that they wanted you to be invested in this World Cup of Hockey. a competition is nothing unless the fans care about it. And they did it with the World Cup of Hockey with national teams, but there's no reason why this couldn't happen with like club teams.
Exactly. And not just the fans, but the players need to care. Even in the World Cup of Hockey, I feel like the players didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go back to this again, in the Premiership and just in the football overall, players care. Like, even in, like, the Europa League and, like, FA Cup, like, even though, like, they're lesser trophies, like, that, if anyone doesn't know, the Champions League, if you win that, it's, like, the biggest...
It's the biggest club.
It's the biggest club tournament, like, ever.
In Europe, yeah.
Like, people will kill each other to win that. But even if you win, like, lesser known, or not lesser known, but, like, lesser important tournaments, like, they're still proud of it. And
like
the fans still care.
It's
like,
all about silverware.
Exactly. Like, for instance, we were just watching, the Europa League, right?
Yeah, we were watching the Europa League final and the Champions League final.
It was Europa was between Chelsea and Arsenal.
And the Champions League final was Spurs and Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm a huge Chelsea fan, and Chelsea won. They beat Arsenal, which is Drew's favorite club. And they weren't in the Champions League, I was still very happy that they won because it shows that they tried and they earned something. But that just shows that football's doing it right and the NHL is doing it wrong.
And even in like a competition, like let's say you get a draw in the FA Cup and it's an early round, it's like Arsenal against, I don't know, like Barnsley, like a lower team. Arsenal may field some of their first 11 and like first team reserves maybe, but they'll also play like youth players because they'll want to go out and impress. I don't see any reason why this can't be a thing in the NHL. Why there can't be something else created of value to make it so that the season is all for naught, even if you get eliminated in like the conference final. Like that should be something to be proud of.
Exactly.
But it means nothing.
Anything that you win in a professional career, you should be proud of. But I just don't see that in the NHL. All I see is individual player stats like goals, assists, whatever, and the cup. Like I really don't see like. Say the Flyers win the President's Trophy, which will never happen. Fans wouldn't care. I mean, obviously, like we would care, and like other broadcasters and people in the business would care, but general fans would be like, okay, whatever. If they don't win the cup, then they suck.
And if you don't win the cup, everyone's like, oh, 1975.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't see the league expanding and trying something new, which saddens me.
And it would make it more interesting for the fans too, but like it's so stuck in its ways.
Exactly.
Anyway, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna transition a little bit.
Oh, yeah, let's get on this segue.
A professional transition. You ready for the transition, everyone? 1, 2. So
we're gonna get sicko mode here, boys.
We're going sicko mode, everyone. So, if anyone is watching the NBA playoffs, you obviously know that it's the Raptors versus Golden State Warriors right now, and the Raptors are up as of now.
Yeah, they're up 3-1 as of Saturday, the 8th.
Yeah, the 8th. So, one interesting thing is my baby boy Drake. You know, he's
Drizzy Dre.
Drizzy Dre, you know, he's a rapper. Everyone knows him. He's
on Degrassi.
He's on Degrassi.
He was on Degrassi.
He's still on
Degrassi.
Yeah, season 30. He's still in a wheelchair. But yeah, he's been going a little sicko mode lately.
Yeah, I remember when the Raptors played the Sixers. Drake is such bad luck for any team he supports that he wore Sixers shorts, and then the Raptors won on like a double doink shot from Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, Drake, this is a personal message to you from me, Ryan of Art of Grit, owner / co-writer. Why would you do this to me? Like,
yeah, dude, just like stop.
Yeah. Like, we just wanted to win, and you had to wear the Sixers shorts knowing that you guys were going to win. Like, just give us a chance. Every time you wear the opposing team's clothing, you screw things up. You mess with the general vibe of everything.
See, I was watching the Bucks and the Raptors when I was back in Philly, and whenever the Raptors would go up the sideline and they'd be defending, you just look at the camera and you see Drake there on his courtside seat, standing up, harassing the referee, waving his little arms around like a child who just spilled their ice cream.
So Drake, Mr. Drizzy, if you don't stop, I'm gonna come to your house
Don't say that.
and I'm gonna scream.
No, Ryan's not going to actually come to your house. We don't know where you live.
I'm coming for you.
He's going to immigrate to Canada.
Does he live in Canada?
Yeah, he lives in Toronto.
No,
Is he from
doesn't.
there? Yeah.
He's definitely from there, but he lives
He has a
lives
house
in LA
there.
or something.
He has a house there.
All right, well, he's a good Canadian boy. Don Cherry definitely loves him.
Don Cherry wants to recruit them for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
Meet this boy, Aubrey Graham, a.k.a. Drake.
Yeah, Drake's gonna go sicko mode on the ice.
Wait, but Don Cherry wouldn't like him because he's not white.
Yeah, but he's Canadian, so it
Maybe
it
that
offsets
may
everything.
mitigate it.
Yeah.
You know who Don Cherry was praising recently?
Who's that?
Austin Watson, known domestic abuser. Austin Watson.
Classic
Yeah,
Don Cherry move.
yeah.
That's honestly, that's a really good move because it really looks good for Don Cherry to hate or to love someone that abuses people.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Yeah, that was a great look for Don Cherry.
Yeah, but Drake's just doing his thing on the sideline. He's being all goofy. He's
banging his chest.
like casting spells.
Yeah, he's casting spells. He looks like he's like getting ready to like go into battle or something. Like he's like yelling and like I feel like I've seen videos like he goes on like not on the court but like pretty close
Yeah.
to like being on the court. Like as like I just don't know how that's acceptable because like I feel like if I did that like I'd immediately get kicked out and like banned from
ban celebrities from basketball games. Just overall, I mean, Drake. You got Drake with the Raptors. You got Meek Mill with the Sixers, and like Meek Mill is doesn't really do the same things as Drake, but just like
yeah.
it's enough. It's a gimmick. We don't need it.
Wasn't Larry David at the game too?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'll put a picture of that too. Larry David was just like sitting all nice and quiet, and you have Drake like screaming like next to him.
Yeah, and like, and you got like the Jenners sometimes who come because who's it? Kendall's dating Ben Simmons.
Yeah, that's
So
bad.
like,
That's
just,
bad luck for the
just
Sixers.
ban all that. I get the whole ring the bell thing, or ring the gong. It's the bell, like when they got Bryce Harper to do it. I don't know why it would be a
Ring
gong.
hashtag ring the gong. What?
That's gonna be our new slogan.
Ring the gong.
Gong,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's our new slogan. Artigrit loves to ring the gong.
But like, I get when they have a celebrity ring the ring the bell. I get it when they have a celebrity ring a bell, but they don't need to be like at the game. It distracts from the game.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that the point?
The famous Philadelphia
Well,
monument,
like-
the Liberty Gong. Everyone knows it. You go to Philly for the convention or the Constitution Center, the like where Benny Frank was, and the Liberty Gong.
Yeah, you know, you can get a Philly steak cheese.
Philly steak cheese.
You know, it's just where they have like a cheese, like they just cover a T-bone steak and cheese.
Yeah, you get like Kraft singles and just like put some meat on it.
To be fair, what I was saying earlier, I guess it's a bit hypocritical to say that all the celebrities are distracted from the game when we were roasting Barstool for roasting that woman who was distracting the game.
Yeah, but she's not a celebrity. I guess she's a celebrity.
Yeah.
But it's different. Like she. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like I guess
it's really not
I guess
that
Drake.
different.
I guess Drake is like actively
We're basically
being a bit
Barstool.
goofy. Well, I guess we're no better than them.
Yeah.
You know what? Celebrities keep showing up to the game. You know, we should just get Drake, Kendall Jenner, and Meek Mill. I don't know. Everyone just to go sit courtside at a Sixers game and see what happens.
I don't mind celebrities at games. Like I was at a Sixers game and I saw Little Uzi Vert there. He was dressed like a mom and like they showed the camera on him and like he like kind of like hid his face and like waved a little bit. Like it was super awkward. But like I don't mind when celebrities are there, but I just don't like when they like go crazy. Like they're just obnoxious. Like you ever seen those Jimmy Fallon videos like Rangers games where he get us and like dances and like just distracts everyone? Like it's just not needed.
It is a bit dumb. They should also get like Kanye and Kim to come to like a Sixers game.
Yeah, and they bring their child west south.
Bring their like it's gonna be 5 kids now, I think.
I guess, yeah. I keep track with the West family. I'm big into them.
You would say you keep up with them?
I keep up with the Kardashians. Art of Grit loves keeping up
We're
with the Kardashians.
big Kardashian fans.
Yeah.
Any member of the Kardashian family, Kim, Khloe, Kendall, Kylie.
Bruce. Or
You mean-
Caitlyn, I'm sorry.
Yeah, way to be politically correct, Ryan. Chris, any of the Kardashians or Jenners, you're welcome to be on the podcast.
What about the lawyer?
Robert, he's
Or
dead.
Oh, he's dead?
Yeah.
Get OJ on. He's involved with them, I
OJ
guess.
Simpson, if you want to go on the podcast, you are absolutely welcome. We can discuss your book.
Yeah, just drive your Bronco on over here.
It's actually come over and kick your ass. We love you, OJ Simpson.
No, OJ, we love you. You're a great football player.
I mean, you definitely did it, but
Glove didn't fit.
come on, dude.
The glove didn't fit. Like, what?
Long story short, if you're a Kardashian or a Jenner and you want to come on the podcast, you are free to come.
Yes, we accept all guests. We really need promotion. It's been a couple months and we're doing pretty horribly right now, so
I mean,
we just need a guest, honestly.
someone.
Like anyone. Like, I'll go down to like my local McDonald's and like ask like a worker there, be like, "Can you please be on my podcast?"
The next GritCast, starring special guest Carrie Meyer.
Our mother.
Yes.
Our mother is a huge sports
She's
fan.
almost certainly listening to this.
Yes, but she's a huge sports fan. She loves the Flyers and the Sixers.
She grew up in the
Phillies.
70s and 80s watching those Broad Street Bullies teams.
Yes, but our family's huge Philly sports fans.
Even though our dad grew up near New York.
Yeah, but he's still all Philly sports. So
Yes.
but yeah,
He shook it off. He's redeemed himself in the eyes of the Lord.
He's seen the eyes of God. He went through the light and got through the tunnel.
He was baptized by Gritty.
I'd love to be baptized by Gritty.
He's holding you like a baby, and he's got you over the holy water, and he doesn't speak, but he just looks at you with his big googly eyes, and he dunks your head under the water.
And then he thrusts forward, and you're born.
And the fanatic are there. The fanatic's the mother.
Yeah, Fanatics the mother of every child.
I think it was on BSH Radio. I think it was Bill Matz who said like they were at Bobby Clark was at Rexy's bar, and he met the Fanatic there because like that was around when the Fanatic was created, and one thing led to another, and that popped Gritty.
Yeah, but yeah, we love Gritty.
Well, it means the Fanatic's a she. Who knew?
She doesn't look like a she. Kind of looks like a man, a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't put labels on things, Ryan.
Art of Grit does not see labels.
Exactly. So whoever found the Fanatic, and didn't they say he's from like Galapagos Islands?
I don't know. How do you know this?
Because when I was like 5 to a Phillies game, they have these like Fanatic books.
So if I went to the Galapagos, I would see little Fanatics like walking around with like the Galapagos penguins and stuff.
I would love that.
Yeah, I just
Make it happen.
I just want to meet one of them. Yeah, can our fans fund us to go to the Galapagos and
Start a Patreon
and search for little Fanatics? Yeah, I'm gonna start a Patreon right now. I'll link it in our Twitter.
Fanatic is the best mascot in sports besides like Gritty.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely the most famous.
We did actually earlier. We did say we had a special guest. So
She was being a little naughty, but I don't know. I think we can bring her back here. Here, come back in.
Hey, Mark. Wait, is there someone with her? Oh my God. Well.
Hello, everyone, I'm back!
Wait, hold on. There's someone knocking on the door. Oh my God. Is that?
Who is that?
It's Forrest Gump. Hey, come
Forrest?
on in.